With additional Alabama student athletes, Cincinnati head coach Luke Fickle, and Bearcat student athletes. Please check your email for login information. A full transcript, along with video and audio files from all post-game press conferences, will be distributed via email and posted in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic section of the CFP Media portal. To gain access to the portal, send an email to licensing@catapultsports.com. The format of this interview session will begin with an opening statement from Coach Saban, and then we will follow for questions for the student athletes only, and then we will conclude with questions for Coach Saban. As a reminder to the media, please use the raise hand function to indicate you want to ask a question. When you're called upon for a question, please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. With that, we'll ask Coach Saban to provide us with an opening statement about today's game before we open the floor for questions. Coach?
Right. Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate Cincinnati's team for the great season that they had. They did a great job of competing in this game. I'm really, really proud of our team, our players. I think they showed great competitive character out there in this game tonight. It was a tough game. We knew it would be a tough game. Guys showed a lot of resiliency all year long to be able to have the opportunity to get to this game. They showed a lot of resiliency in the game tonight to overcome a lot of adversity, make plays when we needed to make them. Played together as a team. Everybody kind of had each other's back, and that helped us, get the victory. We turned the ball over. Defense made a big stop when they had pretty good field position. Offense took the air out of it when they needed to at the end of the game. So this was a great team win for us. Obviously, both these guys had great games. B-Rob did a great job running the ball over 200 yards rushing. Will's been a standout for us all year long. These guys have provided great leadership for some of the other younger guys on the team, and now they've created the opportunity to play for the national championship, which I'm extremely proud of this group for that.
Coach, thank you for that opening statement. A reminder, use the raise hand function. We are going to take questions now for Brian Robinson Jr. and Will Anderson Jr. only, and we will begin with Nick Kelly of the Tuscaloosa News. Go ahead, Nick.
Brian, question for you. Growing up a Tuscaloosa guy, what would you have thought as a young kid looking at what you just did tonight as a running back for the Alabama football?
Nick, could you go ahead and repeat that question?
Yeah, Brian, looking back to when you were a kid in Tuscaloosa, what would he have thought of what you just did tonight as an Alabama football player?
I mean, as a young kid, just always wanted to be a part of this program, just always wanted to play for a national championship, just being able to go out there and just lead this team, in this big game on this big stage, to have another opportunity to play for a national championship, as a young kid, that was the only thing I ever wanted to do, just like a dream come true.
Next question will come from Michael Casagrande from AL.com.
Yeah, also for Brian, that first possession, you guys ran it 10 times on 11 plays. You guys really kind of took it to him physically up front. What was that knowing the game plan, what was that moment like, knowing that you're going to be able to run it straight at him?
We started out running the ball. We just had some, positive runs in the run game, and, just had to trust it, just stay with it. And we knew, we was going to have an opportunity to run the ball, the rest of the game. So, with that first drive, coming off 10 carries, it just let me get my mind right, and be prepared, to run the ball the rest of the game.
Next question will come from Aaron Suttles. Go ahead, Aaron.
Brian, Coach always talks about competitive character. He talks about toughness. You seem to be the personification of that. How much pride do you take in that, in your competitive character and your toughness?
I mean, I literally put all my heart into this. Like, this university, that team, that locker room. I don't never want to let, my brothers down. I don't never want to let my coaches down. I don't never want to let this university down. So, I just give it everything I got, every chance I get. And it's just a reflection of just all the hard work we just put in during the week,
Our next question will come from Edwin Stanton. Go ahead, Edwin.
Hey, Brian, just wanted to ask you, with Cincinnati's defense, did you know that you were going to be kind of the spotlight for this game today?
I mean, I didn't think I was going to be a spotlight. We just game plan. It's just, whatever they throw at us, we got to adjust to it. If the running game works for us, we got to stay with it. So, Coach O'Brien trusted me. Just put the ball in my hand and critical situations and just carry this team. And it just means a lot to me.
Next question will come from Stephen Smith. Go ahead, Stephen.
This one's for Will Anderson. Will, just before games and practices in the weight room, what do you tell Dallas Turner? Because this young man just continues to grow and rise, and he feeds off of you, you feed off of him. But what do you tell Dallas?
You know, it's getting to the point where now I don't really have to tell Dallas anything. He kind of just knows now because he has that confidence, he has that experience, and he knows what to expect now. He knows what he's going to get when he gets on the field. So now it's all about just going out there and playing ball and having fun. But I think the only thing I really say to Dallas, like during the week, is just go have fun and play ball. That's what we always say to each other. We don't overthink nothing. We just go out there, have fun, and play ball. All we think about is how we used to play, throw them up, bust them up in the backyard or something like that. It's the exact same thing. Just go out there, have fun, and play ball. That's it.
Our next question will come from Mike Rodak. Go ahead, Mike.
For Will, what sort of statement do you think this defense made in this game? What opportunity still exists in the final game for the defense to make another statement?
You know, I think we made a big statement, you know, as the season went on. You know, we've been starting to get better on defense, cutting down mental errors and stuff like that. So as the season going on and, you know, we're coming up on our final game, I think it's really critical now that we pay attention to the little details and make sure that we're all locked in and on the same page and keep cutting down on those mental errors, keep flying around, having fun, and playing together as a unit, because I think that's what we've been doing right now.
Next question will come from Haley Sutton. Go ahead, Haley.
Will, also a question for you. All season long, you've talked about making sure your guys are mentally ready, always focusing on football. So to see the effort tonight, especially from some of those younger guys who stepped up and played, just how do you feel about the way your team played today?
You know, I'm so happy. I'm proud of the guys. You know, it was a long time coming. You know, we practiced our butts off for a few weeks and stuff like that. So, you know, mental energy was great. You know, like I said earlier, it was no cancers, nobody being negative. Everybody was just ready to play. And throughout the week, the preparation was good. Defensively, you know, we watched film together. You know, meetings was good. Everybody was locked in, paying attention to the small details. We were ready for, you know, anything they kind of threw at us. So, you know, I'm super proud of these guys, and we just got to keep it rolling.
Next question will come from Jeff Spiegel. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Will, how satisfying was it to keep this team out of the end zone? This is a team that scored a lot of points this year.
You know, that's one of our biggest goals as defense, is holding people to a certain amount of points. And what we did tonight is unbelievable. You know, we still have more work to do, but for us to meet that goal, that's one of our biggest goals on our goal sheet. And to meet that goal, it means a lot to us, and we just got to keep going.
Next question comes from Taylor Kaufman. Go ahead, Taylor.
Hey, Will. I was just kind of wondering what the message is from you, I guess, to the team moving forward. You guys are either going to have Michigan or Georgia coming up next.
You said what's the message?
Yeah, what's your message, I guess, as a leader on the team to the rest of the team moving forward? Because you guys aren't done yet.
Oh, most definitely. The message is going to be the same. You know, nobody is going to give us anything. We have to go out there and take it. We have to earn it. We can't relax right now. Right now is not a time to relax. We have to enjoy this game for 24 hours, and we have to go back and get into business because, you know, now we're going to be playing on the really biggest stage of college football now, and we have to be prepared, and everybody has to be locked in and all in.
We have time for a couple more. We'll start with Blake Topmeyer of the USA Network. Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, for either Brian or Will, what do you think about the way you guys won tonight with run game and defense says about this team?
I mean, I think we just showed a lot of physicality. Like we knew that was gonna come out, you know, fired up. We knew that was gonna come out and try to be physical, and we just proved that we was the most physical team, you know, with the run game and the defensive front, just the whole defense overall, and the whole offense overall. We just proved that we was the most physical team.
Defensively, I think that's one of the biggest things we hit on this week was just being physical up front and making sure that we was in our gaps, everybody being sound, and just playing physical and out physical them. And I think that's what we did this game.
Okay, our final question for the student athletes will come from Michael Merksley. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Brian. How did your relationship with former great Alabama running backs like Najee Harris help your performance tonight?
I mean, you know, just watching those guys play in these moments, just sitting on the sideline, just watching those guys, take over in moments like this, and the way they prepare for it, and just the way they took the field, just dominating these moments, and just watching those guys do it over time, over the last few years, I already knew what to expect, I already knew what I had to do, and I was just glad to have the opportunity.
Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. You're now excused, and we will continue with questions for Coach Saban. And if you have a question, please use the raise a hand function. We'll call on you. We'll start with Carrie Osep of WVTM. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I want to ask you just about the adversity. You've talked about it many times this season and what this team has gone through and just trying to prove consistency. How does this game speak to what they've been able to do throughout the season, and how proud are you of the fact that they were able to get it done really up front, as you just heard from your player, physicality?
Well, I think that this game probably is a little bit of, what this season has been all about. We've had some really good players that are missing, created opportunities for other players who have stepped up and showed that they have the confidence and a competitive character to go out there and do their job in a first-class way. The players believe in each other. I think all those things were very evident in this game tonight, and I think those are things that have been a part of what this team is made of, that has given them the opportunity to, now have a chance to play in a national championship. So very proud of what they've done. We had a young team to start with, especially on offense, and those guys have done a great job. Bryce has done a great job. We were able to run the ball when we had to run it tonight, to be physical, and we stopped them in the running game pretty well, which was a real key in this game because they do run it well. And Jerome Ford is one of the, better running backs that we've played against, and I thought the players did a really good job. I was concerned about how we would tackle in the game, having all this time off, but I was really pleased with the way the defensive players tackled in the game.
Next question will come from Charlie Potter of Bama Online. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, hey, Coach. We saw Emil Ekiyor leave the game late in the first quarter. Do you have an update on him?
He's got a shoulder injury. We think that, he's got a chance to be able to come back and play in the game, but it's probably too early to know. It depends on how he responds. Our medical staff will do a great job with all the players that were injured in the game, and hopefully we'll be able to get most of them ready to play.
Okay, we'll go to Nick Kelly at Tuscaloosa News. Go ahead, Nick.
Nick, you talk about resiliency, and Brian Robinson might be one of the best that embodies that. What impressed you most during his multi-year wait to be able to be the guy at running back?
Well, I think anytime a guy spends as much time behind as many good players as B-Rob did, never complains, always works hard, and was willing to have the patience to wait his turn. And he worked hard. Whatever his role was on the team, he was willing to do it. He's improved dramatically. He's a great person and a leader on the team right now. And I'm proud of him in terms of what kind of football player he's become, but I'm also proud of what kind of person he's become. And, I think he embodies what we really try to get our players to do, create value for themselves by what they invest in and what they do. And it took him a long time to do that, but he kept working at it. There's so many players now that are willing to cut and run as soon as things don't happen, and they get immediate self-gratification from whatever their circumstance is. And he certainly showed a tremendous amount of resiliency to stick with it, stay in a program, keep working. But there's probably not a whole lot of successful people in this world that don't have a lot of resiliency, because you have to be able to overcome adversity, and he's done that and become a very fine person and a really good player.
Next question will come from Zachary Brazilier from the New York Post. Go ahead, Zachary.
Nick, did this feel almost like a throwback game, early in your time in Alabama, where you guys would run over people, where you would rely on your defense? Did it feel like kind of maybe the kind of win you guys might have, when you first got to Alabama?
Right. Well, we've had a couple games like that this year, but sometimes you got to take what the defense gives. And a lot of these running plays that we had RPOs and passes attached to them. But by the way they line up on defense, it's a give-read. So you don't end up throwing the ball, and they play a lot of man-to-man. So, sometimes they took the RPOs away. So I thought Bryce did a really good job of making good decisions and taking advantage runs when we had them, and a couple advantage throws when we had them. So that's just part of it. But we know that we have to have great balance on offense. When we're the best, we can run it, but we can make plays in the passing game. And, we're missing a few players in some of those spots. So this will give us another opportunity to get some of these other guys the confidence they need to continue to be able to make a contribution.
Next, we'll go to Michael Casagrande of AL.com. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, obviously any win is what you want, but the way you were able to physically manhandle them, it seems up front, was that any more gratifying to see the way you guys were able to control that line?
No, well, I mean, I think you always want to control the line of scrimmage. I think it's always important in any game. And we were able to do that on both sides of the ball, and I think that was a big part of having success in this game. Now, we probably didn't make as many explosive plays because of that, but, it shrinks the game. You don't have to play as many plays on defense. We did a good job on 3rd down and 4th down on defense and got off the field. So the combination of those things with a couple red area stops and being able to control the line of scrimmage up front were probably the key to being successful in this game.
We'll go next to Chris Hummer. Chris, go ahead.
Near the end of the first half, Kool-Aid recovered a fumble, Jacory scored a touchdown, and Dallas had a sack on 3rd down. How important was that sequence, and how have you seen those true freshmen handle the roles they've been lifted into?
Well, those guys have played really well for us, and Kool-Aid played well tonight. Dallas has played well ever since Drew Sanders hurt his hand. So I'm really pleased with the way those guys have developed. But, it means something to those guys. Those guys are very committed to trying to be good players, trying to learn, trying to grow, watching other players and how they do things and how they need to work in practice to prepare for a game. And I think that's why they've made, the improvement and the progress that they've made. And now that they've played some, I think they have some confidence as well. And I think that's, invaluable, especially at this point in the season.
Next, we'll go to Aaron Settles. Aaron, go ahead.
With Brian Robinson, he has a running style where he doesn't shy away from contact. It almost seems to get better after he's run over a couple guys. In terms of the toughness of the team, how contagious can that be, being physical and out physical in a team?
Yeah, well, I think that's always a goal for us, is to play, with more effort, more intensity, be more physical, play with more toughness than the other team. B-Rob certainly exemplifies that in his style of play, and I think it fires up a lot of people around him when they see, a player be able to do that. And he made some tough runs tonight. He got lots of yards after first contact.
Okay, our next question will come from Dan Wolken, USA Today. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Nick, all season it seemed like your public comments about this team were very positive and forward-looking, even after like the A&M loss or some close games, or maybe there was some negativity with the fan base. Why did this particular team need that from you?
Well, I think we're a relatively young team. We've got a lot of young players that are out there playing. I think when you have success, the previous season, which, the guys that did come back were very successful, it really took a long time for us to sort of develop the chemistry, on this team. From a leadership standpoint, because we had some great leaders on last year's team. So even though guys have leadership qualities, they don't really see that as their role, because it didn't have to be their role in the past. But we've had some guys really step up for us and do a really good job. And I think, I don't want to call it nurturing, but I felt like, we needed to do that with this team, that, just getting on these guys all the time was not going to help their confidence. It was not going to help the young players develop. And, then we started to develop some of these internal, intangible things that really helped us grow as a team.
Next question comes from Dan Toratora. Go ahead, Dan.
Coach, having a lot of experience here in the college football playoff, just what you can say about Luke Fickell and what he's done with this Cincinnati team, and just what, that on the other sideline, what you take away from him and his work.
Well, I think Luke has done a fantastic job, and really anybody that looks and watches their team play, even playing us tonight, their team plays with a lot of toughness. They play hard. They're very well coached. They play together as a group. They're sound and solid in what they do in every phase of the game. And he took a program, I think, and that won 4 games or whatever, and got in the college football playoff. And there's no doubt in my mind that they belong in the playoff. I think the way they gave us all we could handle, in this game tonight. And if we don't stop them on fourth down a couple times and stop it in the red zone, this game could have been a lot closer. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for what he's done and their program and their players in terms of the way they bought in. And they had a lot of players come back, and want to create value for themselves. And I think that probably contributed to the success. And they have a lot of good leadership on their team. That's very evident when you watch them play together.
Our next question comes from Christopher Heidel. Go ahead, Christopher.
Good evening, Coach Saban. Chris Heidel from Hermes Radio in Baltimore. Talk about your defense. You guys did a fantastic job controlling that high-power offense at Cincinnati. Are you guys peaking at the right time, or do you think at the next game might be the pinnacle of the season?
Well, I think that every team that you play offers different challenges, and whether it's matchups, whether it's the style of offense that they play. I think we had a good plan. I think the players did a good job of executing the plan. They played well together. And we didn't give these guys a lot of explosive plays. That's one of the things that they've been sort of known for offensively all year long is, they run, and then they make a big play in the passing game. And we were able to limit that. And I think that was the key to the drill. And it took some patience, but I thought Pete did a really good job of being patient. We wanted to make them drive it through, and twice I think they got the ball in the red zone and didn't make a touchdown, didn't score a touchdown. So, red zone and third down is big on getting off the field, and I think we had 3 fourth down stops to go with that. So, the defense did a good job. The defensive staff did a good job. And the players did a great job of executing the plan.
Okay, we'll next go to Robert with InSync Magazine. Go ahead, Robert. You there, Robert? Unmute and ask your question. All right, we'll go ahead and go to Haley Sutton. Haley?
Coach, congratulations on the win. You've talked all season about the resiliency of this team, and that was the epitome of that really showing today with a lot of young guys and new faces stepping in. Just how happy were you with the effort from some of those younger guys today?
Well, I was elated with the way a lot of these guys played. We have confidence in the players when they get an opportunity, and I think every time that they get opportunities, they learn more and more, not only about what they need to do, but how they need to prepare so that they can go in the game and play with confidence, not make mental errors, do their job well. I think those things are really, really important. And when young players get an opportunity to play, they learn and grow from their mistakes. And these guys will continue to get better, but I think because they go about it the right way, they've made a tremendous amount of improvement, and I was really pleased with, Ja'Cory Brooks has played well for us. He has to step up now, that John Mechie's out. And we have a lot of other young players that have done a really, really good job for us. So I'm proud of each and every one of them, but I also have confidence in them as well.
Coach, our final question will come from Mike Rodak. Go ahead, Mike.
Just specific to the defense, what might have led to some of those batted passes at the line of scrimmage that there were?
I don't know which question I'm supposed to answer, but I will answer the one that I heard. We really work hard on what we call matching the hand, and we got a couple good guys that have a knack for that. You push the pocket in the middle, and you kind of study the quarterback and his mannerisms in the pocket, and then, when his hand comes through, you want to match the hand with whatever hand you can get up. And I think that was, we made some big plays doing that tonight. Some of these, I call them street plays, zone option, flat plays. If you have pressure on the edge, it's tough for the quarterback sometimes to get the ball over top of the guy, and we had a couple of those as well. But we've got some guys that do a good job of pushing the pocket. Pass rush has been a thing that has helped us a lot on third down. We were able to pressure the quarterback, even at times when we don't get sacks. We're forcing the quarterback to throw the ball before he really wants to, and I think that's really important to being successful in pass defense.
Coach Saban, thank you for joining us. Congratulations. Good luck in Indianapolis.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
I'd like to thank the media for the coverage of the college football playoff at the 86 Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. As a reminder to the media, a full transcript, along with video and audio files from all post-game press conferences, will be distributed via email and posted in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic section of the College Football Playoff Media Portal. To gain access to the portal, send an email to licensing@catapultsports.com. Have a good evening.